Better Days are coming in third, binging on the rail in fourth, Agency 4 off the pace. Has to get closer now as the odds-on favorite as they round the far turn. And it's Carver just in front. Belly Up keeping pace. They're on even terms. Belly Up's nose in front now. Two more. Better Days are coming in third. Agency takes fourth, and Binging trails. They're at the top of the stretch. Carver on the inside. Alongside is Belly Up. Outside of them, Better Days are coming. Surges past, has to hold off Agency. These are the two. Better Days are coming. Opens up on Agency. And Better Days are coming. He wins like he was odds on. Agency's second best. Belly Up third, then Carver. They're in the gate. And they're off. Distant Fleet, very quick away from there. Also showing speed is Trotsky in between horses, along with Western Avenue with the yellow blinkers up to take the lead. Novinophobia is a close-up for it. The key is Unity. Mongolian Master already 6 lengths off front-running Western Avenue. And the heavy chalk goes into the far turn, leading a length. Distant Fleet trying to keep pace second. 2 more, Trotsky third. Novinophobia 4 off the pace in fourth. The key is Unity. Mongolian Master has tailed off. They're midway on the far turn. Ace Espinoza and Western Avenue to catch. A length and a half in front. Now it's 2 on Distant Fleet, who's fully extended second. Novinophobia and Trotsky third and fourth. Top of the lane, Western Avenue. Trotsky takes up the chase in the center of the racetrack. Distant Fleet is in between horses. And down at the rail, Novinophobia. They're a 16th out, and Western Avenue has overwhelmed them. Western Avenue, hand-ridden to a 3.5 length W. Novinophobia fended off Trotsky, then Distant Fleet. They're in the gate. And they're off. Blue Oasis is very fast away from the gate. Horatium comes away in second. The best is yet to be. Step It Out is down at the rail. Girl Can't Help It is now in the mix after braking very slowly. And Lead Away is at the back. 5 lengths front to back. And it's Blue Oasis setting the tempo. Leading by a length and a half. Horatium in second. And Step It Out hugs the rail in third. The best is yet to be. 4 off the pace in fourth. Lead Away is 5 lengths off them, while a bit wide into the first turn. And Girl Can't Help It is just inside of her. They move on to the backstretch, and it's Blue Oasis and Jeremy Laprida carving out the fractions with Horatium into second. At the rails, Step It Out, still on hold third. A length and a half. The best is yet to be, has 4 lengths to make up. Girl Can't Help It and Lead Away. Coming to the half-mile pole, Blue Oasis left alone. 2.5 length lead now on Horatium. At the rails, Step It Out, very comfortable in third. Then the best is yet to be. 3 off the pace in fourth. 2 more back to Girl Can't Help It and Lead Away. Rounding the turn, it's been all Blue Oasis. Now, Step It Out takes up the chase clearly into second. Is asked to reel in this front runner. Horatium losing ground around the far turn. Passed at the rail by the best is yet to be. And the best is yet to be picking up good momentum. Top of the lane. Blue Oasis, Step It Out. The best is yet to be in the center of the course. Continues to make solid headway. Blue Oasis, the best is yet to be. And the best is yet to be will jog. The best is yet to be cruising through the stretch to win it by 3. Blue Oasis second, Step It Out third, then Horatium. In the gate. And they're off. Light One Up is very quick, and Light One Up opens up a length. La Vie Lumière has plenty of speed too, and these two hook up into the far turn. La Vie Lumière is up to take the lead. Light One Up now suddenly back to second, already a length behind, a gap of 6. Wicked Wind in between horses, Velvet Dream on the outside, and Fire Isle comes through on the rail. A quarter of a mile to go. La Vie Lumière's in front. Light One Up comes back for more. These two have dominated since the gate opened. It's a gap of 6 lengths back to Velvet Dream, who's finishing with some interest inside the 8th pole. And Light One Up is back in front of La Vie Lumière. Light One Up, very sharp under Antonio Fresu, pulls clear for a professional victory. La Vie Lumière second. Velvet Dream was third. In the gate. And they're off, and Golden River bounces out very quickly, opens up a couple of lengths just like that. Halo Uncle has good early speed, too. They are followed by Chief Wild Eagle, and Idiot's Gold is in 4th. Heavily favored Zeus's War 5th, guided off the rail, 3 lengths off the lead. Cousin Richie is next, and a gap of 4 to JB Books. It's Golden River passing the half-mile pole. 3/4 of a length to the good of Indian's Gold in second. They are followed by Chief Wild Eagle, 3rd. Then comes Cousin Richie, 4th, and Halo Uncle on the rail in 5th. Pushed along, Zeus's War has 6 lengths to make up, a gap of 3 to JB Books. It is Golden River who's been there throughout. Idiot's Gold continues to pursue in second. 2 more lengths. Chief Wild Eagle races in 3rd. Cousin Richie, Zeus's War on the far outside. They're at the top of the stretch. Golden River still there in the center. Zeus's War is starting to close stoutly. Idiot's Gold is currently in second. 16th pole, Golden River. Here's Zeus's War on the outside, though. And Zeus's War waited to the end to strut his stuff, and he's best. That's 2 for Espinoza. Golden River second in front of Idiot's Gold, then a battle between Chief Wild Eagle and JB Books. We're in the gate. And they're off. Damasio Asmodeus, just like last time, sprints up from the outside post to take command. Tamarando Star, Fireman Dan is down at the rail, prominent through the opening furlongs, and Be Punctual is up and on the pace too. Damasio now 5th, 3.5 or so off the lead. Mitzi's Express is next. A little bit keen is Mitzi's Express, finding a very narrow opening while steadying, and it's a long, long way back to Supermax. They move on to the backstretch. Fireman Dan, Asmodeus is now back to second. 1.5 lengths. Be Punctual kept in the clear while 3rd. Mitzi's Express takes 4th. Tamarando Star along the inside of Damasio. And still 8 lengths or so back to Supermax. Half mile to go. And it's Fireman Dan in front. 3/4 of a length. Asmodeus in second. 2 more. Be Punctual by himself 3rd. Tamarando Star is next. Mitzi's Express in between horses. Outside of him comes Damasio, and still a distance to Supermax. Fireman Dan, Asmodeus comes back for more. These two will arrive at the quarter pole together as one. Asmodeus back in front of Fireman Dan. 2 more lengths. Be Punctual still in at 3rd. Damasio is next. Mitzi's Express with a lot of work to do. They're at the top of the lane. Asmodeus is just in front of Fireman Dan. Mitzi's Express on the inside of Be Punctual. Damasio coming to the 16th pole. Asmodeus, Fireman Dan won't go away. He's fighting bravely to the wire. Asmodeus is just in front of Fireman Dan. They come to the wire. Asmodeus, hard-fought decision, back-to-back W's. Fireman Dan, Damasio, Mitzi's Express. Express is next. A little bit keen is Mitzi's Express, finding a very narrow opening while steadying, and it's a long, long way back to Supermax. They move on to the backstretch. Fireman Dan, Asmodeus is now back to second. A length and a half. Be Punctual kept in the clear while third. Mitzi's Express takes fourth. Tamarando Star along the inside of Damasio, and still 8 lengths or so back to Supermax. In the gate. And they're off. Guilty of Having Fun is very quick. So is Lava Lucy, who's up to take the lead. And Rosa Parks is not far behind. 2 off the pace in third. Guided to the outside now. Then Press Your Luck. Tight Squeeze is down at the rail. Musical Number outside of that pair. And Wind Speed trails. Down the backstretch, and Lava Lucy is the target. 3/4 of a length. Guilty of Having Fun second. Tight Squeeze moves up inside Rosa Parks to take third. That group is followed by Pressure Luck and Musical Number, 4 lengths off the lead. Wind Speed continues at the back. Lava Lucy into the far turn, 2-length advantage. Guilty of Having Fun has been on the chase in second. Tight Squeeze hugs the rail, starts the rally now. Tight Squeeze taking second and coming after Lava Lucy at the top of the stretch. They're at the top of the lane now. Lava Lucy the leader. Rosa Parks making a wide bid. Tight Squeeze in between them. They're in the final furlong, and it's Lava Lucy and Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks now rallies to the front inside the 8th pole, putting away Lava Lucy. Then it's Tight Squeeze. Wind Speed late. It is Rosa Parks just in front. And Rosa Parks, a little erratic is this daughter of S.Y. Sky, but she follows the family tree. Lava Lucy, Wind Speed finished with a flourish. Close for fourth between Tight Squeeze and Pressure Luck. We're in the gate. And they're off. Memories in the Park broke out word. Petite Ange is very quick and takes the lead. Babe Kelso moves up to claim second. Coconut Girl third in the opening stages. And here's Lucky Nia coming through, taking that third spot. Lady Docia in the pink silks in mid-pack. Beauty Jenny is down at the rail. 3 clear of Spiritual Thought. Dixie Allure is second to last. And AP's Lucky Charm at the back. Contested battle up top. It's Petite Ange narrowly in front. Chased by Babe Kelso back into second. Lucky Nia at the rail in third. Then Coconut Girl, 3 off the pace in fourth. Spiritual Thought trying to get into it with the green cap. Has 4 to make up, taking fourth now. 4 lengths clear of Dixie Allure, who's racing in between horses. Another gear for Petite Ange at the top of the stretch. Widens out to lead by 5. Lucky Nia, Babe Kelso has dropped out of it. Spiritual Thought after shifting about now moving into second, 16th pole. And it's Petite Ange home free. Long gone on the front end. It will be Petite Ange, a short priced standout. Tyler Bays held on. They won by 6. Spiritual Thought, Lucky Nia, Lady Docia. We're in the gate. And they're off. Madeira Wine is sprinting out for the lead. Valkyrian has speed. Those two 1-2 with Putt Fordeaux and Big Mama Sue at the rail. Empress Ellie is next, followed by Highlands. Lady Montclair, who hopped slightly at the start, is 8 lengths off the lead. Tiergarten, second to last. The distant trailer is Super Ellie. Around the first turn, and it's Madeira Wine, ensuring an honest tempo. Valkyrian tracks nicely from second. Another two, Big Mama Sue, Putt for Dough are side by side. A couple clear of Empress Ellie, who's in mid-pack, 8 lengths off the leader. Then comes Highlands, Lady Montclair, Tiergarten together. Super Ellie and Mike Smith continue at the back of the field, close to 15 lengths off the pace being set by Madeira Wine. So the long shot takes him into the far turn. 2-length lead. Valkyrian second, Big Mama Sue in a tad tight, looking to move up along the inside. Putt for Dough is racing in fourth, 4 lengths off the lead. Tiergarten's on the outside. Moving with her is Empress Ellie. They have put Lady Montclair 2 behind them at this stage. And now Super Ellie is next. Easing out of it is Highlands. Quarter of a mile to go, and Valkyrian comes after Madeira Wine, Valkyrian. Empress Ellie is let loose in the center, and Big Mama Sue looking for room behind this trio. They're inside the 8th pole. Empress Ellie and Valkyrian. Empress Ellie to the front. Big Mama Sue rallies late. It will be Empress Ellie, another for Hector Barrios, scoring by 3.5. Big Mama Sue second, then Valkyrian, Madeira Wine, and Super Ellie rallied to get into the super high five.
Hi, everybody, and a very happy Preakness Day to each and every one of you. Delighted you decided to join us on Preakness Day here at Santa Anita. We've got an excellent 10-race card, and of course, our sister track, Pimlico Racecourse, will host the running of the Pimlico Stakes. That'll go off at 4:01 p.m. Pacific time. My name's Tom Quigley, VIP player. Here, I should say, delighted to be joined by both father and son, none other than professional player Duke Matties and his son Carson. Gentlemen, happy Saturday. Welcome to the seminar.
Thanks. Happy Preakness.
It's great to have you guys. Now let's talk about the Preakness for a minute, but before we do, let's talk about the Derby. Journalism ran a good second. Of course, he got beat by Sovereignty. Baeza was closing late. Is Journalism, Duke, a slam dunk today, in your opinion?
Pretty much. I mean, journalism is a real deal. I mean, Sovereignty was just a little bit better on that day. Maybe got a slightly better trip, but journalism is a really nice 3-year-old, and it's a shame we don't have the rematch, because I would like to see those two face off again.
That might happen up at Saratoga for the Belmont. We'll stay tuned and see if that happens in 3 weeks. What about journalism's odds, Dukes? Of course, there's one thing predicting a winner, and then there's another thing wagering on the race. Would you ever take 6-5 on a horse? Like, let's say Secretariat was 6-5. Does that represent value, or is there a certain odds threshold where you're like, you know what, he might win, but I'm not going to play him out of my pocket?
Yeah, I think 6-5 is fair on Journalism. I mean, he's the best horse, and when you got the best horse, it's not too bad to get a little bit better than even money.
Correct.
It's just a matter of trip and pace, and because he needs a little bit of pace, that's all he needs.
And the good news is it looks like the main track's going to be fast come post time for the Preakness Stakes. Carson, what about you? You on the Journalism bandwagon, or you're trying to be a Sharpie and beat him?
No, that horse that's an amazing horse. I mean, especially running second in the Derby. I mean, ran great. Just the rest of these horses in this field are a little bit different. So
a little bit slower, let's say, right?
Yeah. So
let's talk about speed figures for a minute, guys, because Duke, you and your brother, and I'm not sure who else, kind of compose your own past performances. Tell the audience who are kind of recreational players what you guys do to formulate your own past performances.
Yeah, a lot goes into it, and Carson started to do it too. There's a bunch of us that, we have a bunch of guys that do trips and
contribute to the past performances
at different tracks, and we have clockers that we have around the country. So the speed figures are done by Paul, my brother Paul, and he's been doing that for a long time. So
he was doing it for Andy Byer with the racing times, right? Way back when.
Yeah, when I went to college in Buffalo, he was already working for the racing times. It was like in 1991. So he's been doing speed figures for a long time. He does them pretty much for all the tracks around the world too. He does some Hong Kong figures, and he does some Japan figures, and he does
some Meadowlands harness figures. Right? I'm aware.
So he's a jack of all trades when it comes to figures.
And Carson, to really beat the betting public, I think one of the things your family's identified is you need more information than the average Joe, right? That's the reason behind the development of the past performances is you want to gain an edge, because we're all betting into the same pool, but the more information you can have, whether it's a bad trip, a clocker report, a different speed figure than what the general public is betting, that's going to give you an edge and hopefully make you a winner in the long run.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously the more information you have, the more you're able to handicap, figure out who's going to win, try to find value, the odds matter. So when you have a horse you like, but the odds aren't right, sometimes you got to lay off of them, unfortunately.
Now, most sons, Carson, when they follow in their dad's footsteps, they go a million miles away from their dad's occupation. If he's a successful lawyer, it turned out to be a firefighter. But in your particular case, you actually did follow in your dad's footsteps. What is it about horse racing that you like? Because obviously you come from a different generation.
I haven't thought about that in so long because I fell in love with horse racing so young. I mean, I just remember as a kid going to the track, we'd be standing on the fence, hearing the hooves come around. It's so exciting, and I just love horse racing. It's so exciting. And I mean,
it's in your blood. You can't help it. Your grandfather.
Nobody roots harder than this guy.
Really?
I was going to say, everybody knows I'm the one screaming when they're coming down to the stretch. So,
Did you ever read Andy Byer's book? Because if I remember correctly, he had a quote in one of his books where you can't really scream out loud unless it represents like half of your annual income. You don't follow that rule. It sounds like, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I root for horses I barely have any money on. Sometimes I just like them. I like the sport.
I've asked you this question before, Carson, but I'm going to ask you again because there's a lot of people watching. What can we do as an industry to bring more people your age into the game? What are we doing wrong? In other words, I'll give you one example. The horse racing world is cash only. Your generation has no cash. Mm-hmm. How do we bridge that gap? Is that one concern of many that you might have for our industry?
Yes, but no. At the same time, I can see that, definitely being a challenge. But even going to casinos, which my generation loves, they go to the ATM, which we have here to get cash and things like that. It's really tough. I go to the track and I bring my friends, and it's very easy to get them to come to the track because
It's a fun afternoon.
It's exciting. Getting them to consistently come back and fall in love with handicapping, looking at the horses, or even in the, the owner side of horse racing as well. Horse racing is a very complex sport, and I think it's probably in my opinion, one of the most complex sports when it comes to really understanding it and being able to either handicap or own a horse. If you don't know somebody that's already in horse racing, it's very difficult to learn that on your own. You'd have to have a mentor of some sort.
One of the runners in the Preakness is a runner by the name of Sandman. And of course, he's got a lot of popular celebrities behind him. Metallica comes to mind. The other content creator comes to mind. That certainly doesn't hurt, right? I mean, that does attract people in your generation when they post those different videos on TikTok or Instagram or whatever it might be.
Yeah, I love that they're doing that. I can't remember the influencer, but he was on an interview during the Derby or something like that. He was saying something about how this is the best sport in the world, and he loves it, and he wants to share it with everybody. I think that's great because it gives a lot of outreach to people my age, and people see that and they can enjoy it.
The game's not dead yet. We've got a lot of people on track to not only watch today's 10 races, but also take in the Preakness Stakes. You've heard who these two young gentlemen like in the Preakness Stakes. We're going to find out who they like on today's 10 race card. But before we do any of that, let's find out who the early changes are by tossing the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati. He'll tell us who those are, and we'll be right back.
Good afternoon and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. The track is fast, the turf is firm, the rail on the turf at 0 feet. Here are the changes. In the first, number 6, Time to Shine, will carry 2 pounds over. In race 2, there are no changes. In the third, couple of blinker notes. Turning to race 4, there is a middle pick 4 offered on races 4 through 7. Race 5, number 5, War Council, will carry 5 pounds overweight. In the 6th, scratch 13, Curlin Command. All turf pick 3 starts with the 6th. Blinker notes in the 7th. In the 8th, scratch number 5, Natural Fighter. In the 9th, scratch 5, Sea Dog. And in the 10th, the Ms. Direction Stakes. Just the blinker note, super high 5 wagering offered on the 10th. Enjoy your day at Santa Anita Park. We have the Coast to Coast Pick 5 every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It starts today with Gulfstream's 9th in a little more than 2 hours. They'll be at the gate for race 1 in 57 minutes at 1 p.m. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner. He's got the father and son team of Duke and Carson Matties to handicap today's card.
Welcome back. It's our pleasure to have both Duke and Carson Matties, the father and son team that are obviously professional handicappers. Duke, before we take a look at today's 10-race card, a question for you. A lot of people watching, as I mentioned earlier, are recreational players, don't have enough time like you do to handicap the races. Maybe what are one or two pieces of advice that you would give people who don't have a lot of time to handicap to maybe change within their handicapping habits? It might be watching more replays. It might be paying more attention to the odds. It might be strategizing your wagers more than forgetting about handicapping. Like, just what would you recommend to the average everyday player?
I think simple is the best way to
Keep
go.
it simple,
Keep it simple. Bet horses to win. Bet exactas, bet daily doubles. Things that are 1 or 2 horse combinations. Don't fool around with pick 4s and pick 5s and pick 6s and superfectas. And
you
things
can
like
once
that.
you can spend more time at the races. But if you're just coming out on, say, twice a month.
Yeah, you come in twice a month. Pick, look at the whole card before you decide what race to bet. Maybe you only want to bet 2 races, 3 races. Maybe one race will look better to you than the whole card. You don't want to dab at the whole card when you're first coming out here. So I mean that's the way I do it. I mean, I look through the whole card, and bet more when you like it a little more,
Fair enough. Let's take a look at race number 1, guys. We kick things off for the 50-cent early pick 5, traveling 1 mile and 1/8 on the turf course. This race is for maiden special weight fillies and mares. The turf rails today are at 0 feet. We've got a good field of 9. The morning line favorite is originally number 2, Nafisa, taking blinkers off. But the current betting choice at 8-5 is number 1, Innovative, trained by Phil D'Amato. One of 2 he trains in race number 1. Duke, before we get your thoughts on race number 1, I wanted to show a replay that 4 of these 9 runners exit. This was the 9th race back on April 20th. The 2 runners I want you to pay attention to are going to be breaking from post positions number 5 and 1. Specifically, Innovative is going to be breaking from post position number 5, and Church Lady is going to be breaking from post position number 1. You should spend more time focusing on number 1, Church Lady, in this replay, because in my opinion, she never had a clear chance to run until very, very late. Keep in mind, this replay we're about to watch was run at the distance of 1 mile. Today's distance is 1 mile and 1/8. You be the judge if the extra 1/8 of a mile might help either Innovative or Church Lady. So let's listen to Frank Miramati describe the action and watch the runners breaking from post positions number 1 and 5.
And they're off. Innovative in the center of the course is quickest. A little misbehaving. Nafisa joins the party, and Sunset Beauty makes it 4 almost across the course. Time to Shine in the red colors is next. Cat the Confidant will settle in mid-pack. Don't Tempt Her is down at the rail. They're followed by Kitty Marin. Church Lady is second to last, and Kaylin Dana is at the back. Lil Misbehaving, the long shot leader, has it 3/4 of a length. Juan Hernandez has Nafisa right off her flank in second, 2 clear of Innovative, and Cat the Confidant is well spotted fourth, about 4 lengths off the lead. It's another 3 to a 3 wide Don't Tempt Her, rallying outside Sunset Beauty. Inside of that pair, Time to Shine has lost a couple of spots. Church Lady is next with less than a half mile to travel. Outside of her, Kitty Marin, and a 3 wide Kaylin Dana is asked to go now. Lil Misbehaving has been there throughout with Nafisa in pursuit, a length back second. 2 more. Back to Cat the Confidant in the green silks third. At the rail, Innovative has lost a little bit of ground fourth. She is followed by Sunset Beauty as Nafisa takes the lead, tackled by Cat the Confidant. These 2 square off with a 1/4 mile to go. Cat the Confidant on the outside, and Nafisa are head and head coming to the 8th pole, and Cat the Confidant's in front now. Nafisa back to second. Innovative is rallying, trying to get into that second spot with Cat the Confidant clear. Now Innovative picks up a nice late rally. It's going to get close. Here's Innovative surging. Here's the line. Photo finish.
Duke, as we watch the gallop out, tough beat for Innovative at 16-1 that particular afternoon, now 8-5. But take a look at the gray. Our friend number 1, Church Lady, on the gallop out. Looks like both Innovative and Church Lady are going to enjoy the extra 1/8 of a mile distance. What say you about race 1?
Yeah, I picked Church Lady here. I mean, if you watch that replay, which we just did, she had a little trouble early on, didn't settle, looked like she needed the race. And I think the extra furlong probably will help. I mean, you're getting 5-1 versus 8-5 too. So it's kind of a no-brainer in my mind because Innovative got a very nice trip there. But I'm not tossing Innovative, but my top choice is Church Lady. What worries me a little bit in this race is the pace. Nafisa, if Nafisa gets loose on the lead, I'm going to I'm probably going to have a 2-3 exacta here, just in case nobody goes with Nafisa. Because if Nafisa gets loose here, I think she'll be tough.
Since Nafisa is a 4-year-old, you can see she carries 126 pounds. The 2 3-year-old fillies that we've been talking about, Innovative and Church Lady, carry 118. That's an 8-pound difference. Is that significant to you? Do you pay any attention to weight, Duke?
It is at 1 1/8 miles, I think. I don't pay attention to weight too much at 6 furlongs, but I think when you get into longer distances, I think it matters when it's 8 pounds. That's getting to the point where it's significant.
All right, Carson, you're up to bat in race number 2. Begins the 50-cent early pick 4. We're sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track for 3-year-olds. $25,000 is the claiming tag. Number 6, Winds of Freedom with the Hesta Sormo combination are 8-5 on the morning line. Give us your thoughts on race 2.
I'm going chalk here in race 2.
Boo.
I know. I think these 2 horses are just better than the rest. The one here, I think, is going to get a perfect trip. It's very consistent over the last 3 starts, been first or second. And I think that horse is going to get a really good trip. I think the 6 is just as good. Ever since that horse went to Hess, 2 back, that horse ran great in 1. And in the last race, that horse stumbled a little bit, and I think he'll come back and run just as good as 2 back. So.
Carson, from a speed figure standpoint, number 5, Cardinal Spirit, coming back off the layoff, doesn't really necessarily have the same numbers, but is first-time Lasix off the layoff for trainer Doug O'Neill. Do you see a world where Cardinal Spirit could maybe be in the exacta?
Yeah, you never know, especially with a horse going on Lasix. I know, like you said, doesn't have the greatest speed figures, but that's definitely a step up.
Race number 3, we're going 1 mile on the main track. This race is restricted for $8,000 claimers. Field of 7, morning line favorite number 2, Always on K, taking the blinkers off. Duke, a question for you. Leo Vukmanovic, our good friend who plays the horses on a daily basis, loves when horses are taking blinkers off for the first time. It makes a lot of sense because suddenly the horses have a lot more field of vision than when they did when blinkers were on. We've seen a number of winners hit the winner's circle recently with blinkers off. Are you a proponent of blinkers off or not necessarily?
I think it depends on the situation. I mean, in this case, I think it will help because I think Always on K might need to sit a little bit instead of get involved in the pace. I think blinkers on usually gets the horse more in the race. Blinkers off makes them more relaxed. So you got to use that, to your advantage on what do you think, how you think the race is going to go, So in this case,
go ahead.
In this case, I think it probably helps the 2, but I picked the 6 right-hand rider. I like the short rest. If you notice, the horse came back on short rest a while back and did really well. And ran into just an absolute killer last time. It was a Mullins.
Atomic Drop was running later on today's card.
Yeah, it was a Mullins. I think it was a barn switch to Mullins, and the horse won by like 10 lengths. So
Atomic Drop earned a 92 buyer speed figure that afternoon.
Yeah, there's no Atomic Drops in here, so I think right-hand rider might just go to the lead and wire the field. And I picked Always on K second, just not really for any good reason, but I think just going to sit at stalking second or third trip, and there's not much else in here.
6 and 2, so says Duke Matties in race number 3. Let's see who Carson Matties likes in race number 4, which on our 10 race card today begins a 50-cent middle pick 4. We're sprinting 6.5 furlongs in the flat turf course. This race is for $30,000 claimers, non-winners of 3 races lifetime, a field of 7. Number 7, Special Flower, is the 5-2 favorite. We just heard your dad say he likes runners coming back on short rest. Well, number 1, Free and Humble, is coming back in 7 days for trainer Peter Miller, who does well with that move. You like Free and Humble, or you're looking elsewhere?
I'm looking elsewhere. That's definitely a horse I'm going to use underneath. Definitely be in the trifectas and probably use a little bit in the exactas. I like this horse, not because I'm born and raised in Vegas, but number 2, Vegas Love, got left last time, and I think that horse will run a lot better. It was also very wide. And then 2 back, we had him against the bias on that day. And so
at Mahoning Valley.
And so I think that horse could come back and run really good here. And then with that horse, I know the 5, Kitty Katana, is making a big drop. That's definitely an interesting horse, but we had that horse getting an easy lead, so I was trying to go against that one, and I think I'm going to stick with the favorite as my second choice, the 7.
2 and 7 in race number 4. A question for you on Vegas Love. Phil D'Amato is the trainer, and of course he won at least 2, maybe 3 races yesterday. I forgot. Does a hot barn maybe influence you at all, or does that not even come into the equation?
It does. It definitely does. If a barn's doing really good, I like to kind of ride the wave. Hopefully that horse still does well, especially if I like the horse otherwise.
You said riding the wave. Are you a surfer, Carson?
I'm not. My sister's more the surfer than I am. She likes to go out there and hang out at the beach. I've never gotten into it. What I don't like about surfing is after I catch the wave, I got to swim back out there and do it again.
You do like some other recreational activities besides horse racing. I think you're into motorbikes. Is that correct?
4x4 off-roading. I have a truck, so I like to go out on trails. I like camping.
Do you compete at all competitively?
I don't. It's more just for fun, getting out there in nature and kind of getting away. I work all day on a laptop. I handicap on a laptop. It's nice to kind of get out there and relax and have a little campfire.
I hear you, brother. Race number 5 begins the $2 pick 6. We're back on the main track. 1 mile is the distance. This race is a restricted maiden claiming race for $8,000. Once again, a field of 8. Number 1, Finn Karen, is the 5-2 morning line favorite, taking a big drop down in class. Give us your thoughts on race 5, Duke.
Yeah, I just think the one maybe finally finds its friends here. I mean, that's a huge drop in class, 50,000 down to, 8. I mean, there's just not much in here. I think if the 3 maybe got loose on the lead, the 3 might be able to wire the field, but it's really hard to go anywhere else in here. It's just there's just not much to go off. It's a cheap maiden race. We're running these races, mostly for the Northern Cal guys, right? So I just think the one just found the right spot, and I'm not going to play much here, gambling wise, but I'll probably try to use this race as more like a pick 6, pick 4, that kind of thing, where I'll use the 1, 3 defensively and probably not bet the race.
Dude, question for you. We've talked about your family. We've talked about your brother, Paul. Let's talk about your dad, Chick. Was he the one who introduced you to this game? How did it all begin?
Pretty much. But his dad loved the races.
Did you know your grandfather?
Oh yeah. I took my grandfather to Vegas late in his life, and my grandfather was a pool shark. I mean, he played against Willie Mosconi, Minnesota Fats, and
he was pretty good.
Oh, he was really good. I took him to this pool. He was 87 years old, and he goes, go up to the bar, get us a pitcher of beer, right? He says, I'm going to break. I come back. He already ran the table.
Wow.
He's like 87 years old. So
wow.
So he was he was into that. And he was into racing, and my dad obviously was into racing. So
what was the first track you ever went to? Do you remember?
It had to be Saratoga.
Really?
Yeah, I went to Saratoga.
None of those county fairs in Massachusetts or anything like that?
Great Barrington was probably a possibility, Great Barrington or Northampton Fair. But I would say Saratoga was probably my first track.
What about your mom? I've seen her in Southern California at the track. Did she go to the track, or did she just let the boys go out for the afternoon?
No, she liked going to the track. She just visited a couple months ago, so I got to go see her in New York in the summer, so it'd be good to see
your annual trek to the Adirondacks, that's for sure. Race number 6 begins both the 50-cent late pick 5 as well as the $3 all-turf pick 3 with a reduced 15% takeout. This is a good field of 12 after the scratch of number 13, Curling Command, and we're running 6.5 furlongs once again on the flat turf course. This is a maiden special weight race for Calbreds. Morning line favorite, the 3rd-time starter, number 5, Titanic Thompson from the Steve Miotti barn. 10 ways you can go here, Carson. 12 ways you can go here. Which way are you going and why?
I think I'm going to end up keying the favorite, the 5.
Boo.
I think that horse is going to go to the lead. And, if he runs the same race that he ran last time, I think he's going to win it. As a second choice, I was going back and forth between the 6 and the 8 here. And I thought the 8 just was going to have better odds and is equally as good. Might even be a little bit better. He had a high figure 3 back that I'm hoping he can run back to. But I'll be using both of them in the exacta. But I like the 8 just a little bit more with the value.
Follow-up question for you, Carson. You talked about escaping in nature and getting away from technology. Does your generation, let's not say about you, let's say your generation, do you feel like you have an electronic handcuff? In other words, can you never get away from either work or something that's important? I mean, is that something that maybe your generation feels more than I do?
I'd say a little bit, probably. Even myself, it's tough sometimes to get away. I mean, we have phones and everything. I just got these cool glasses that are like Meta glasses. I can answer phone calls with them. I don't know. Sometimes.
So you kind of like it, but you don't like it.
But right. I don't like. I like it, but I also need a break every once in a while. So, but I think it is very difficult, especially the way the world's going with AI is coming around. I mean, technology is just there, so it is definitely difficult. And I also think people are actually wanting to camp more a little bit because of it.
Sure.
When I try to find a camp spot and make a reservation for a camp spot, sometimes it's tough because I think people like to disconnect sometimes.
Random question for you. A Bitcoin investor?
Very small. It's funny actually. I was talking to a couple buddies that are really into crypto, and obviously everybody wishes they bought Bitcoin way back when, but I need to buy Bitcoin. I've been talking to my buddies. They're like, you got to get it. You got to get it. You got to do it. And I haven't yet. So that is definitely something I need to do. I have a little bit, but I want to invest a little bit more.
It's a brave new world out there for those of us who are a little bit up in age. Race number 7 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. We're going 1 mile on the main track for Calibrate allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than. Field of 7, number 4, King of Clubs, who's going turf to dirt for trainer Mark Latt, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. You going to pick chalk here, Duke, or you're looking elsewhere?
I'm not on the chalk, but I don't dislike King of Clubs either, but I'm gonna take a shot on Mining District, just wiring the field. Here's something we talked about earlier. This one's blinkers on, not blinkers off. I think with the blinkers on, you're gonna see this horse go out to the lead, and I think he's probably gonna open up. And I'm hoping that's just enough to beat this field, because I don't see anything other than him that really wants the lead in here. So I'm hoping he just goes right to the front, wires the field. I'm using King of Clubs and maybe Touchdown Brown underneath, but I do like the 1. Going back to race 6, just to maybe...
You going to critique your son?
No, I'm not going to critique him. I
Okay.
do like the 5 in there, but going back to race 6, there's 2 first-time starters that I watched workouts on.
Courtesy of FirstTV.com?
Yeah, First TV. I watched Throwing Heat. I thought Throwing Heat worked pretty decently, and I also thought Madman, the 12, worked pretty decently. So there are 2 long shots maybe people can throw in.
When you say working decently, Duke, what do you mean by that? In other words, did they work in company? Did you used to be a horse owner? Did you like the way they were moving? Was the exercise rider not moving a muscle? Like, what was it about those 2 first-time starters that you liked?
Throwing Heat was working very nice, and he outworked the horse named Berry Valley. Berry Valley's a solid 75 buyer turf horse.
Okay.
So I like to see when horses work with decent horses, especially at this level. A
Right.
75 buyer probably win this.
The
race.
best buyer in the field is 64 for
Correct.
Bonneville Jim.
So that in that case, I think it was a 4 or 5 furlong workout. That's pretty darn good for a first time starter. And the 12 did the same thing. He worked with the Day and Age, ran a 73 buyer. So anytime you see horses that can stay with horses that run 70 buyers and running against horses that are running 60 buyers, I mean, you think they got a shot, right?
Your dad's always looking over your shoulder. Does he critique your wagers? Like, does he say, like, you should have done this, you should have done that? Or does he just throw you in the pool and let you sink or swim?
No, I mean, it's a little bit of both. It's, he doesn't necessarily critique me that much, but he does, when I'll tell him who I like and whatnot, and he'll kind of do what he just did, where he sees different things in different races. He'll let me know about it, and then I can decide if I want to use it or not.
But you can learn from it as well, right? You got to
Exactly.
respect his experience.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's take a look at race number 8, Carson. This is your race. It begins at $3 late pick 3 with a reduced 15% takeout. Race number 8, there's 1 scratch. Scratch the 5, Natural Fighter. We're traveling 6 furlongs on the flat turf course. Allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than. It leaves us with a field of 8. Number 2, Yakolev is the 2-1 morning line favorite going up in class. Give us your thoughts on race 8, Carson.
I did like the 2. I'm definitely going to be using him. That horse is just very consistent. I mean, of the last 5 races, he's been first, second, or third. He's won 3 out of those 5. I think that horse is going to sit just behind the leaders, maybe 3rd or 4th, and could get a really good trip. But I'd like to include the 8, Daniel's Magic. I think that horse is going to come from behind. And despite that horse hasn't run since October of 2024, but that horse had some really good races and ran some really good figures back then. And if that horse can run those again, I think that horse is going to be right there with the 2.
Carson, second selection, number 8, Daniel's Magic, already broke this condition. That's why he's in for the $50,000 tag. I'm going to shift over to you, Duke, because Carson's not old enough to remember this. Let's focus on number 5, Natural Fighter, a 5-year-old import from Los Alamitos at night. Back in the old days, we would automatically draw a line through horses like this, whether they shipped in from Los Alamitos at night, Turf Paradise, even Golden Gate shippers. Yep. Back in the day, didn't really have much of a chance in Southern California. Those days have changed. I'm not specifically referring to Natural Fighter necessarily, but you have to keep an open mind now, right? Some of these invaders, whether they're from Turf Paradise or Los Alamitos, they're not only competitive, but they're winning some of the races here at the Great Race Place.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you definitely got to include especially when you see these Los Al night horses go to the turf. It just seems like they, for some reason, they have good speed, natural speed. So they get out in front of these turf races, and sometimes they just keep going. So, I mean, Natural Fighter scratched today, I believe, right?
Yes, as a matter of fact, but I was using it as an example.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I thought he was loose speed in that race before the scratches, before he got scratched. So, I mean, he was a definite player in there.
Let's take a look at race number 9, Duke. It begins a $5 late daily double with a reduced 15% takeout. Before I introduce the race, a question for you. These late wagers that we've introduced, the $3 late pick 3, the $5 late daily double, if you compare the pools for those wagers compared to the earlier pools, it's comical. It's like almost 10 times as much. The daily doubles, the rolling doubles handle maybe $10,000, $20,000. The $5 late daily double explodes up to close to $200,000. You have to be an advocate as a pro player for these type of wagers.
100%. I love the $3 pick 3. I love when they have the dollar pick 5s. I love the increments to be higher. So
correct. Me and you both.
The computer bettors, when you give them 50 cents, they do damage, and it's a lot harder to do $3 increments. And monopolize the pool. Like the way they do,
and depress the payout.
Yeah, they just make the payout smaller. It's like the 50-cent try. Remember, the 50-cent try was one of the worst things ever because it made the try pay so much lower.
Correct.
The dollar try is just so much better.
Higher minimums, higher payouts. It's pretty simple.
It is. And I love the $3 pick 3. That's one of my favorite wagers.
So before we get your thoughts on the race, in race 9, we're going 1 mile on the main track for allowance optional claiming types. Do scratch the 5 Sea Dog leaves us with a field of 9. Number 8 Nameless, who I believe is 6 for 6 on the main track for trainer Jeff Mullins, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. A lot of ways you can go here, Duke. Which way are you going and why?
Yeah, I'm going to try and beat Nameless. I know he's going to be tough here, but he's really kind of run against some weak fields coming, from Northern Cal, and he's kind of caught some easy ones. And this race is not that easy. I mean, we got 4 or 5 horses I think that can definitely win this race.
The aforementioned Atomic Drop.
Atomic Drop, if he runs the way he did last time, won't lose. But he's going back to Knapp from Mullins, and I worry about that a little bit. I know the short rest probably will help him. That way he didn't, get too much. He probably hasn't trained very much since he's been in the Knapp. Back to the Knapp barn. So I think Atomic Drop is probably the horse to beat, but I picked the 3, Contrary Chieftain. Now, if you notice this guy, Barocho, he claimed a horse named Wound Up. I mean, he turned that horse into a freak. So
almost a Breeders' Cup Sprint starter, 102 Buyer Speed Figures, and they claimed the horse for $8,000.
I know, $8,000, and he's probably going to be, one of the best sprinters in the country at this point. And I kind of see something similar here. This horse woke up last time. He claimed this horse for $5,000. This horse romped last time, and if this guy moves him up like he did that one, I mean, this horse could be anything. So I picked Contrary Chieftain in here.
15-1 on the morning line for Duke's top selection in race number 9, number 3, Contrarian Chieftain. If you have the past performances in front of you, a couple of things to point out to amplify what Duke just said. 8 starts on the main track for Contrary Chieftain, 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. That's 5 for 8 in the money. Likewise, similar statistics both at today's distance as well as on Sanita's main track. Just to amplify again what Duke said about Lee Baracchio's first off the claim statistics, I actually looked it up in DRF Formulator. Over the last 5 years, Lee's claimed 35 horses, 11 of them have hit the winner's circle. That's a 31% win clip, and 20 of them have finished in the money. That's 57% in the money. Even if Contrarian Chieftain doesn't win the race, I think it's one horse that you have to use in all your exotic plays, whether it's exacta tries or etc. We close out today's 10-race card in race number 10 with our feature race, the Misdirection Stake, coming down the Hillside Turf Course for fillies and mares. Race 10 also offers $1 super high 5 wagering. This is a real good competitive race. Number 2, Miss Roberts, is the lukewarm 3-1 morning line favorite from the Jeff Mullins barn. Talk to us about race 10, Carson.
This was a tough race. I do like the 2. I like Miss Roberts. That horse ran really great last time, so I'm definitely going to be keying that horse, but I'm going to be using the 8, Beyond Lucky. I think that horse could go to the lead, and that horse has been running at over a mile or I guess ran at a mile last time, but then a little bit over a mile the 2 times before that. And that horse is dropping down to 6.5 furlongs. And if that horse can get the lead, I think he could still be there.
2 and 8 to close up a very good 10-race card on Preakness Day here at Santa Anita. Duke, before I let you go, a follow-up question that I asked your son. What can we do as an industry to do better? We talked already about having higher minimums on some of the wagers. Of course, CAWs are a concern, but just, we're the old guard. You've got the new guard coming in. What can we do more to bring people in, way back when we were Carson's age at that point? What can we do in your opinion?
I don't know, it seems like, social media has got to be the way to go.
No doubt about it.
It's got to be something to do with, getting these people out here. I always kid around with, the great Nate. I always tell Nate, I said, you need a sign out there on the 210, or you need somebody out there, because that
Nobody
was
knows
the
it's
old
there.
days. Yeah,
Sure.
you just got to know that the track's here, know that you can come here and have fun, and I guess social media has got to be the way to do it nowadays.
And Carson, you mentioned it as well. Coming out to the track, even if you don't know anything about horse racing, it's just a fun afternoon, right? It's really social. You can have a few cocktails in between races, go down and look at the beautiful horses in the paddock out on the track. If you pick a winner, that's a bonus. But even if you don't know anything about horse racing like your friends do, it's still a fun afternoon.
Yeah, it's always a great time, and coming and seeing the horses, it's just such a different experience, especially people who have never been to the races. Every single time they come, they always say they had a good time.
It's always a good time. It's always a great time whenever we have the father and son team of Duke and Carson Matties. Thanks for joining us today. Good luck on all your wager, guys, and we'll do it real soon.
Thanks. DQ.
Thanks to all of you for watching as well. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a great afternoon, everybody. Enjoy the afternoon. Before we cut you loose, one more reminder, $1 Coast to Coast Pick 5. Don't forget about that on Preakness Day. You can see it's got 2 races from Santa Anita, 3 from Gulfstream Park. We kick it off at 2:09 p.m. Pacific time. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. Track conditions are brought to you by John Deere. We are fast and firm with the rail on the turf at 0 feet. Here are the changes. In the first, number 6, Time to Shine, carries 2 pounds over. The first starts the early pick 5. Race 2, no changes. In the third race, a couple of blinker notes. The fourth race offers middle pick 4 wagering. There are no changes. The fifth is the start of the $2 pick 6. Number 5, War Council, 5 pounds over. The sixth race starts the late pick 5 and the all turf pick 3. Scratch number 13, Curlin Command. In the seventh race, couple of blinker notes, late pick 4 wagering. Eighth race, scratch the 5, Natural Fighter. Late pick 3 begins with the 8th. In the ninth, scratch number 5, Sea Dog. Late double wagering is offered. And in the 10th race, super high 5 wagering offered. We have a scratch now. This scratch just in for number 8, Beyond Lucky. Enjoy your day at Santa Anita Park. 26 minutes to post for race 1.
Be a smarter better with First TV, the best horses, with thousands of exclusive morning workouts. All at your fingertips and delivered right into your inbox. Everything you need to be informed. Be smart. Bet smart. With First TV.
14 minutes to post for the opener. On behalf of everyone here at First Racing, yes, we'd like to welcome you to a Saturday here at beautiful Santa Anita Park.
Not just any Saturday.
Yes.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Preakness Day.
Of course, we were getting to that. I was trying to give you a build-up.
I was too excited.
Went and spoiled it. All right. Well, you already figured out second jewel of the Triple Crown, the Preakness, taking place at Old Hilltop over there in the Mid-Atlantic. And yes, we all will be rooting on not only Mr. Bob Baffert and his trainee, but we're all looking at journalism and hoping for a little payback out of the Derby.
Yeah, we'll be the favorite in there. I think we're loaded with West Coast shippers over there. We got already some winners on the day. I know that Varney won for trainer Bob Baffert, and my dad, Phil D'Amato, has some runners going over there onto the turf course, Balnikov and Divine Propos. So looking forward to them. But let's get to this race.
Let's get to it. We've got a work courtesy of our partners over at First TV, and it concerns the one-horse Innovative here for Phil D'Amato and the Little Red Feather Racing.
This is Innovative on the inside, the chestnut there with the blue blinkers. Ricky Gonzalez aboard, and this work will be aboard in her race as well and has been aboard for her last 3 races. And I just feel like she's getting better as she goes on. Every single race, you watch her train in the mornings, and she gets better and better. We have not found how good she is yet, and this work kind of just shows it here. She's working a minute flat with another filly by the name of Carol Lombard, and she's just going super easy. Ricky Gonzalez never asking her in this work, and she gallops out even further. They debuted her at this distance of 1 1/8 miles, thinking she would love to go long. I just don't think she was ready first start to go 1 1/8 miles, but she is definitely ready now. She was 5-1 on the morning line, now at 2-1, which I think is correct with her because she beat Nafisa last time, and Nafisa was 9-5 on the morning line. So I think the bettors are getting it correctly here. She should be the favorite, and she is my top pick.
That's very intriguing here. And I look at Innovative. I was going to ask you about that before you even got to it. To me, to watch a horse in the debut go 1 1/8 miles, that is such a hard road to hoe.
Very tough. And, you know, we knew that she needed to go long, but first time 1 1/8 miles is a little bit
Does it
rough.
come down to the fact that it was just one of those, well, the race is here,
Exactly.
so we might as well just try it.
Race is here. Throw her a bone, see if it works.
You don't
And
usually-
she just got a little bit tired.
You don't usually get that opportunity right off the bat.
Mhm.
Very attentive. There's Authentic Grace. I saw looking over at the crowd here for Neil Drysdale. I got to tell you, this horse looked very good. In fact, best turned out today.
She ran okay last time. She is going up in class today, which worries me a little bit about her. So I did not use her in my top picks. I actually put underneath the number 8 Runyon Canyon for trainer Simon Callahan. If you look at her races, she's run 3 times at the 1 1/8 miles distance, and they have been her best races to date. So I think this is her thing. You know, she's been runner up twice and third by 3/4 of a length once, and those are all at 1 1/8 miles. She's gotten her best by her speed figures from that distance. And if today is going to be the day, I would not discount her at all.
I have them both on top. I have Nafisa on top. I have Running Canyon second. I completely agree with you. The 3 Church Lady, isn't that special?
She is special.
You know, and that's funny. She was a step slow. On the heels was the comment into the first turn. But you know what? I thought it was not a bad race for that first time coming in from Dundalk.
Yeah, it's hard for fillies to come in here, especially when I don't think she was completely cranked up for that race. And she has trained a lot better since then, and she has acted a lot better. She's one who can kind of lose her marbles a little bit, and she came over today looking very good, walking out of the walking ring, very calm and collected. So that is a positive for her today.
Pick 5 pool at 90,897, 2-1 favorite on Innovative. Jeff Chappie Chapman will be joining us a little later on in the broadcast. On behalf of everyone here at First Racing, we'd like to welcome you to a Saturday, dare I say it, a Preakness Saturday at Santa Anita.
Forrest Powell brings him onto the track for the first race. It's the start of the early pick 5, named for Al and Shohei Day forever. Happy 101, Dad. 9 minutes to post.